Hello and welcome again to the inaugural Pick and Roll with a Show. My name is Asad. It's my co-host Imman, and we're happy to bring you this live show. We wanted to do a show that'd be kind of fun in the middle of the week, and let's kind of get into it because we're getting a little late. So before we get to the game show part of it, let's just talk about what we think. Their Celtics Heat game is going to start in a little bit. So Imman, what do you want to see in the Celtics Heat game?
Okay, I'm going to restart this. I want to see the Celtics lose because I am still hurt and sore from the loss. But beyond that, I think that the Celtics are a better team with Gordon Hayward back. And what we saw was the Heat zone defense really throwing them off, kind of like what the Raptors did. And now they've got their best playmaker back. So I just think that this is going to be a different series. And the Celtics are, to me, the better team. So I want this to go as long as possible, which is why I want the Heat to win another one. Go up 3-1.
I also want to see the Heat win. I don't totally agree with you. I don't know if the Celtics are the better team. I think the reason the zone works so well against them and why Toronto's zone works so well against them was simply because a lot of the Celtics' best offensive creation comes one-on-one. And against the zone, you can't really go one-on-one against the zone. You got to move the ball around. So yeah, probably Gordon Hayward helps them. I personally want to see the Heat win. I wish the Heat swept them, but we'll see what we get. I think the Celtics can get it to 6 games though, so we'll see how it goes. That said, are you surprised the Heat have been this good?
Yes. I have been calling the Heat frauds for a while. So yeah, I'm surprised that they're as good as they are. However, I kind of thought that I understand them beating the Bucks, right? Like that to me was just like the Bucks were another team that was very sort of flawed and didn't really show up in the bubble. So the Heat being as good as they are, making the conference finals is surprising, but at the same time, I think the matchups have broke out well for them.
Oh yeah, they've 100% had the better matchups. Like the fact that they still haven't played a team that can stop Duncan Robinson is ridiculous to me. Because we saw the Raptors basically put him into jail for game after game. So honestly, it's really frustrating. You hear all this Heat culture stuff because Heat culture is just this maniacal tirade, just workaholics. That's what they are. They're just maniacal workaholics and gym rats, and it's well, the bubble environment is so good for them. So I don't enjoy that it's the Heat that are doing so well, but I'm not terribly surprised either.
Honestly, Heat culture is just military culture come to life, right? That's what Heat culture is.
Hey, this is what basketball at a military base looks like. Which, honestly, the thing that's most frustrating is the Celtics are struggling because they don't have enough one-on-one. They're so focused on one-on-one creation. And you think about a team that could move the ball and get offense going and then, stop shooters like Duncan Robinson. You go back and it's man, what if we had just won Game 7? What could the Raptors have done against this Heat team?
So close. It was so close. As soon as Daniel Tice fouled out, I was oh my God, the Raptors have this. And then, Kyle Lowry fouls out, and I'm oh, the Raptors do not have this. But yeah, I think it was a clear path for the Raptors towards the finals. They just had to survive the final 30 seconds, and they could not. So
yeah, and it honestly, I'll be this. They should have given more games before this series started because I'm still so depressed from Game 7 that I haven't even really been able to watch a full game of basketball just because it's man, these teams are so bad at defense. You're just watching them just not make rotations. The Heat being able to just make 2 passes to an open shot is just so frustrating to me. But alas. I think we got enough people. We got 26 people in here. Everybody go with 29!
The audio. We're almost back to where we were. Hello.
Okay. So I guess since we're running short on time anyways, let's just get right into this game show, eh? Everybody enjoying it? So let's get into it. So what the pick and roll with this show is going to be, it's a debate style game show. So the basic rules are we're going to have 5 rounds with 5 different topics to debate. The catch is we don't know what side of the topic we're going to be debating. So we're going to roll a dice before every topic. And if it's an odd number, we're going to argue for the topic. If it's an even number, we're going to argue against the topic. Each person's going to have a minute to make their initial argument. Then we'll have a quick 30-second rebuttal. And then you guys in the chat are going to decide who won each topic. So you guys are going to comment, say who won. Also, for the people watching the show after the fact, we'll have Twitter polls available up until the next day where you can vote to decide who won each topic. Obviously, since people are watching it live, your vote will matter more because we care about you people much more. Don't tell them. And Sidra, screw you. I believe I'm going to win. I'm going to go 5-0, but if you guys want to split it. Additionally, there will be an option for us to do a flip, but we'll get into that if we get to it. So I guess we might as well get into it. Let's go with Iman to figure out who ends up having to pick first on the first topic. Are you going to be odd or even?
I'll be odd.
You'll be odd? And we got even. Damn it. That means I got to start on the first topic. So the first topic that we're going to go with is Sixers coach, Ty Lue or D'Antoni. So I guess we'll make Ty Lue odd and D'Antoni even. So I'll roll to see which one I'm arguing. And, okay, I got to argue for D'Antoni. Alrighty. So let's set the timer. I'm going to start. The 76ers' next coach should be Mike D'Antoni. And let me tell you why. This team does not shoot threes. Mike D'Antoni only shoot threes. Their biggest issue was that their offense sucked. It was like just watching like a wrench being thrown a bunch of other tools into an engine. Like it was a dumpster fire, their offense. Mike D'Antoni, the one thing he's done year after year over the past 10 years is no matter what the talent level is, he's able to make a top 10, top 15 offense out of it. Like we saw the 2013-2014 Kobe Achilles Lakers be like a top offense in the league. Whether he has the talent to do it, of course he does. Ben Simmons, one of the most talented players in the league. Imagine if he could shoot threes. Under Mike D'Antoni, I bet you he can. PJ Tucker became a three-point shooter. Mike D'Antoni made that possible. So I believe Mike D'Antoni should be the next coach of the 76ers. Iman, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
The next coach of the 76ers should obviously be Ty Lue. You know what Ty Lue has that Mike D'Antoni doesn't in all his years of coaching? A championship ring. And yeah, Mike D'Antoni, he makes for a great offense. You know how he does that? By playing incredibly fast. Who is the Sixers' best player? Joel Embiid. So you're going to tell me you're bringing in a coach that doesn't fit at all with their best player? How does that make sense? What are you going to do? Trade Joel Embiid to fit a team around Ben Simmons that can shoot threes and run quickly? That doesn't make any sense. As long as Joel Embiid is the best player on the Philadelphia 76ers, it makes sense to not have a guy like D'Antoni and instead have a guy with championship pedigree that can take the 76ers over the top. He's already a Sixers legend. He had AI step over him. Now he gets his own redemption story. It's a perfect fit, a match made in heaven. Ty Lue should be the Sixers' next coach.
All right. This is ridiculous. Ty Lue, he's a championship head coach. Listen, if I coach LeBron, I probably have a good chance of being a championship head coach as well, all right? And as much as you want to say about Ty Lue, like Mike D'Antoni, he actually has the drive to want to win a championship. You can believe in that. You know this guy is trying so hard to win his first. That's called brand like that's alignment right there, right? That's alignment. Additionally, you want Joel Embiid to be in shape. You make him run up and down the court for 82 games. That's the way to go about it.
Time. Okay, yeah. And so he can run him down and Joel Embiid's career ends before he turns 30? Absolutely not. You have to preserve a talent like that, and Mike D'Antoni has never done that. You know who Mike D'Antoni has had on his roster? Steve Nash, James Harden, Kobe Bryant, and has never won a championship. Ty Lue gets LeBron for a single year and does it. How are you going to tell me that Ty Lue is not a better coach and more deserving of this team?
All right, fine. Okay, guys, I think I clearly won that. Why are we even doing this? What do you guys say? Who had the better argument? Give your votes in. Just vote in the chat. Topic 1. Who wins? I'm pretty sure I won that, so I don't know why you're dancing.
I'm about to step over you just like AI over Ty Lue.
Oh my god. Boo.
I definitely won that. I won it, right? Thanks, guys.
Fine. Okay, whatever. We got the next one. So our next topic, you guys keep voting on that topic. Our next topic is Bam Adebayo is the best player on the Heat. So, Iman, are you going to be arguing for or against this topic? Let's find out. Arguing for. Bam Adebayo is the best player on the Heat. Okie dokes. Alrighty. So we're going to get ready to start the timer. 3, 2, 1.
Young Bam Adebayo, a superstar talent, is of course the best player on the Miami Heat. Who else can guard 1 through 5? He is the linchpin of that defense. Do you see how he's carving up the Sixers defense? He has been unstoppable on the offensive end. They have no one who can guard him. He can guard 1 through 5. He can get you his points. He is an all-star. He is the most versatile player on that team, which is why he is the best player on the Miami Heat. I mean, what else can I even talk about? Best defensive player and also a stud on the offensive end who can get you baskets. He's athletic, he's long, he's quick, he's a young star as well. There's never been any talk about locker room issues with him like some of the other guys. He's not dirty like most of the Heat players. I mean, he's just a lovable guy and clearly the best talent on that team. Which is why Bam Adebayo is the best. Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't even get to a whole minute on why Bam Adebayo was the best player on the Heat. So that already says that he is definitely not the best player on the Heat. You know who is the best player on the Heat? The guy who's talked on about every podcast. The guy who is the linchpin of their offense and their success. Duncan Robinson. I can make an argument that Duncan Robinson is the best player on the Heat. And I'm going to start right here. First of all, the Celtics are losing. Why? Because some guy named Duncan Robinson is raining threes from everywhere. He is the best three-point percentage right now, like ever. Like, I don't even, like, he's at like 46%. I don't even know if that's regular season, postseason. You can count whenever you want. And we're in the bubble, this magical bubble where three-point shooting is king. Bam Adebayo can't even hit a three. Honestly, sure, Bam, he had a nice block. But guess what? Duncan hit like 6 threes to actually set up the game. You can play all the defense in the world, but somebody's got to score points at the end of the day, and Bam isn't doing the scoring. Duncan Robinson, better player.
First of all, Duncan Robinson is a great shooter. He is one of the best shooters in the league right now, which is great. Matt Thomas, one of the best shooters in the league right now, a role player. Bam Adebayo is the center of this team. He is what this team revolves around. You bring in role players like Duncan Robinson, like Tyler Hero, who can make life easier and better for Bam Adebayo, who is the best player on the team.
Okay, fantastic. But, like, have you ever heard of a thing called gravity? Duncan Robinson has gravity. He's the one that opens up the floor for Bam Adebayo to make all these layups and to make that pick and roll work. And I haven't even gotten to Jimmy Butler. He has to play beside 2 non-shooters in Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and he makes their entire offense work. Bam Adebayo, for whatever reason, is not the best player on the Heat.
So you just said a role player. He is a role player.
Yeah, but I think Bam Adebayo is also a role player. So, look, it was a difficult argument to make, but I think I made it.
You didn't even go with Jimmy. You were like, no, it's Duncan Robinson, actually.
Hey, go big or go home. And you know what? The chat says I won. Look at this. SMDH. So much damn honor. I said, thank you, Ali.
Shaking his damn head. That you went with Duncan Robinson.
You see, John thought that it was hilarious that you said what you said about Bam Adebayo. So you guys keep voting in the chat who you thought won that second topic.
2-0.
Oh, come on. That's not fair. Okay. Next topic. I'll get a better one, okay? So our next topic is going to be, while you guys keep voting, our next topic is going to be Clips or Bucks? Bigger failure. All right, Iman. Which side are you going to have to go? We'll make Clips odd, and we'll make Bucks even.
Okay.
Clips are the bigger failure. God damn, you're getting all the good ones today. Alrighty, we'll start you off in 3, 2, 1.
The Clippers are the biggest failure in the league. Not only are they a bigger failure than the Bucks, they're one of the biggest failures in the last, I don't know, million years. They traded away their entire future for Paul George. Paul George. Paul George has been abysmal, and that's who they traded everything away for. They stopped Kawhi Leonard for an entire year just for the chance to win a championship, and they couldn't even get past the second round. They got absolutely destroyed in Game 7. They were sitting on the bench as Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic were putting on a show. The Clippers were poised to win a championship this year. This was being talked about as one of the best teams ever. They traded away their entire future. The Bucks haven't done that. The Bucks have a future. The Clippers don't have a pick until I'm 45, okay? That is going to be an issue. They're a complete failure, not just for this year, but for the future, which is why they're the bigger failure here.
All right. First, I'm going to say this is totally unfair because you keep getting the good arguments, but clearly it's the Bucks. Okay, let's get it out of the way. The Bucks won a historic number of games. Their net rating was like the number 1 of all time, and they lost in the second round to the Miami Heat. The Clippers at least lost to Team Canada. Okay, Jokic and that's a rising superstar team, and they lost in 7 games. It took 7 games for them to lose. The Bucks lost in 5 games. They would have got swept. It wasn't for like a little bit of luck going their way at the end. A couple of gimme calls for the Bucks. The Bucks were horrendous. They came into the bubble rah-rahing the whole time. We got Giannis, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Brook Lopez might be the Defensive Player of the Year. Chris Middleton, he's a top 10 player in the bubble. And they just completely flatlined out the gate. The Bucks are clearly the bigger failure of the two teams.
The Clippers did something historic, too. They lost a 3-1 lead. Can we talk about that? They're so incredibly embarrassing. They gave up their future. They lost the 3-1 lead. Everyone expected them to win it all this year, and they fell flat on their face. This is an absolute embarrassment. They wasted a whole year stalking a guy. They lost a 3-1 lead. This is just terrible. The Bucks didn't do any of that. The Bucks have next year. The Clippers only have a short time.
The Bucks are done. They lost Giannis. Giannis is gone. Giannis is not going to sign a Supermax. They lost the worst thing possible. They had their future and lost it. The Clippers lost their future beforehand. It was already a given going in. They didn't have a future. They didn't lose anything extra by failing. The Bucks lost their entire future by losing and how badly they failed. Their coach is so horrible, and they're stuck with him. As a franchise, they have been horrendous, and that's why they're the bigger failure.
How are you going to say their coach is so horrible? Doc has lost a 3-1 lead 3 times. Mike Budenholzer's never done that. I see Imman about to go on 3-0.
Never had a 3-1 lead to lose.
Imman about to go on 3-0, so I get it together.
All right, chat, vote ahead. Topic 3. We'll let you guys vote, or we kind of reset it. I can't have lost this one. This is like the one I think I have a legit chance. There you go. Thank you, John. Asad did win.
No.
Asad did.
John,
exactly.
That's called the pity vote.
No mention
John,
of way off P. Arguing that and not even mentioning way off P.
I said playoff. I said Paul George. I said they traded away their whole future from Paul George.
Begrudgingly, Asad.
No.
Thank you. Let's go. Yeah, can't ignore how much of a failure Bud is. I'm sorry, Imman. You lost this one. I think that's a good to go. All right. The next one, I guess I have to go. So the next topic, topic 4.
This season has an asterisk?
This season will have an asterisk. So I guess odd again is 4. Against is even. So let's see what I got to argue. Even. I got to go against. This season will have an asterisk. All righty. Let's start the clock. This season definitely shouldn't have an asterisk. Like, the bubble is as real as it gets. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you've got so many people in this, like, small space. It's raw basketball talent. The best ballers come out on top. You're stuck in, day out. All you can think about is basketball. All you can do is basketball. You can't see your family. Can't see your kids. You can't see your significant others. You can't see your favorite Wingstop hostess. It's like, you're just stuck in this place where you got to play basketball. That is mental torture. So the fact that they're able to rise from that and play basketball, it's not an asterisk. It's a badge of honor. So to win in this bubble season means more than any other season, really. So it definitely doesn't have an asterisk, and whoever comes out of this is a real champion, all right? And especially since the Lakers are going to lose, it's definitely not an asterisk season. I don't even need to say more because it's pretty obvious.
You didn't know what to say because you didn't have anything else to say. Also, you spent the entire time arguing why there should be an asterisk on this season. This is such a wonky year. I mean, the Phoenix Suns could not win a game prior to the bubble, and they won every single game in the bubble. If that's not proof enough, I don't know what to tell you. The Milwaukee Bucks you mentioned were a historic team throughout the entire regular season. They come and they start losing. This is a ridiculous... This season has such a huge asterisk. Pascal Siakam finished second in all NBA votes. And yes, I'm appealing to Raptor fans right now. Did not touch a basketball for 4 months and could not play basketball when the time came back here. Of course there's an asterisk. That would never happen in any other season. This season is wonky. It's weird. Is it fun? Is it enjoyable? Sure. But that doesn't mean that strange things aren't happening in the bubble. We have the Nuggets and the Heat in the conference finals. No one would have said that prior.
Alrighty. Let's stop for a second. You can't, to say there's an asterisk is to denigrate the entire concept. The fact that this champion isn't going to be real. And I just think that is unfair to all the people, all of the frontline workers who are working at the bubble, sacrificing their lives to do this. Honestly, the fact to take the risk to play in the bubble, I salute the NBA players, and I will not say that there's an asterisk on this season. So, let them keep going.
Okay, Mega Son. What are we talking about here? There is an asterisk on this season because it's a weird season. It's a wonky season. Things are not normal. You don't take a 4-month break in the middle of a season where guys don't touch a basketball. You don't go a few months without seeing your family. It's not basketball all the time. You're stuck in a place with all of your, teammates, none of your family around. This is all strange. No fans in the arena. We saw what that did. Kyle hit that pass over. Jason Tatum threw a pass to Nick Nurse. All different.
You're out of time. That last point didn't count.
It did, though, because it was real.
Vote. Who won? I'm pretty sure I won. Just remember, the last thing that Iman said did not count. It
of course counted. It counted.
Unlike OG's shot, she did not get it off in time.
I got it off in time. And that pass happened because there were no fans in the arena.
Mm-hmm. Sure. There were fans. There were virtual fans, just like there are virtual fans right now. And unlike you, OG was able to actually get that shot off in time. So you weren't because there was fan pressure. I'm pretty sure. You see? People agree.
I won that. What is happening? Get Sandra out of here.
Let's go. I control the chat. It's all good. The chat says I keep winning. Guys, keep voting. Your chat votes count more than the poll votes.
I won that one.
As we move to our next topic, topic 5, bigger ripoff, Big Face Coffee or Tobias's contract. Okay, so we'll make odd Big Face Coffee, and we'll make the even Tobias's contract. Iman, let's see what you have to start with.
Yes.
Tobias, God damn it. Okay. Alrighty, Iman, I'll start the timer for you. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Here's the thing about Big Face Coffee. You get $20 for a large coffee, same as a small coffee. Here's the thing about Tobias Harris's contract. You get nothing for a lot of money, regardless of the year. He produced nothing for them. He's being paid like a superstar. Here's the thing about the Philadelphia 76ers. They tanked and were the worst team in the NBA for years, one of the worst teams in the history of the NBA, so that they could ensure that they did not pay these middling suit guys superstar money. And what did they do with Tobias Harris's contract? Exactly that. He is the antithesis of the process. He goes against everything that Sam Hinkie stood for. It is unfortunate that he has as much money as he has. It's ripping off the Philadelphia 76ers, not just long term, not just for the next 5 years, but for the 5 years that passed prior, because they tanked so that they would never be in this situation, and here they are. Tobias Harris' contract is awful. Awful.
I think it's pretty anti-player to say that a contract is awful. It's anti-labor, honestly. Shout out to the players. Get your money. Here's the tea about Big Face Coffee. Coffee sucks in general. So Big Face Coffee, just by the fact that it's being coffee that's sold, is the bigger ripoff by far. Also, $20 a cup. If anything, it's exploitation. It's exploitation of a situation where players are unable to go anywhere else, and the NBA is allowing this exploitation to happen. And I personally will not stand for exploitation and the oppression of caffeine addicts being forced to pay buku bucks just because of their personal status to get their fix. I personally think that's unfair. It's overpriced. Big Face Coffee. Coffee sucks in general. So yeah, Big Face Coffee is definitely the bigger ripoff. Tobias Harris hits a couple threes sometimes. It's not that bad.
He hits a couple of threes sometimes. He doesn't hit it very often. First of all, I think it's Ethiopian-phobic to say that coffee's bad. So racism. But beyond that, the NBA has a salary cap. So Tobias Harris eating up other guys' salary is actually not as progressive as you think, because he makes it so that other guys who are as deserving or more deserving of that money than he is do not get it because he's eaten up their contract. I've gone over my 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. Just like you're talking about that, you eating up my time. I don't need the extra time because my points stand for themselves, okay? And I believe in my words, Mo. Don't say that, okay? Tobias Harris, he's kind of good. He's kind of good.
Is he max level good?
Listen, he was good on that Matisse Thybulle vlog, okay? I give you that.
See, Matisse Thybulle's not the one paying him.
Okay, chat, you can vote. You can vote who won. I think I won.